attention though.
In this world,
In this world,
in this world,
in this world,
I am alive,
I am alive,
I am alive,
I am alive.
in this world,
In this world,
in this world,
in this world.
this is the time,
This is the time.
this is the place,
This is the place.
let it shine, shine. I am joy,
I am the joy.
I am joy,
I am the joy.
in this world,
In this world,
in this world, I see the joy,
I see the joy.
I see the joy,
I see the joy.
in this world.
In this world,
In this world, I see joy.
I see the joy.
This is the place.
This is the place.
Let it shine, shine. I'm living love every day.
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 Spreading peace along the way.
Spreading peace along the way.
I'm living love every day.
I'm living love every day.
Right time,
Right time,
right place.
right place.
Living love every day. Now turn to your neighbor and say, hey.
We're in this together. Virtual Good morning. I know a whole lot of people that are out of town this week, and so we're sending special blessings their way, as well as to all of our Facebook live stream family throughout the world. And we're grateful to have each one of us here and bringing your light, your love, and your energy with us. And welcome to Unity Bay Area, Houston. We are honored and privileged to have you here with us to share this time of celebration. And we begin, as we do each Sunday, with our first principle in unity. And as we affirm this together, to really be aware, what is it to acknowledge this one presence and power in the universe and experience it fully in ourselves, in our being, in our world. We are opening our heart, mind, and being to this truth. So let's affirm together. There is one presence and one power in the universe and in me, God, the good omnipotence. Yes, indeed. And so as we begin this day, we want to acknowledge our music team. Of course, we have Patty Rabaza and Ken Clark here with us, and grateful for that. We send extra blessings to Ellen and Dan, who are up at his mother's memorial at this time, and so we're sending special prayers and blessings to them. And we have a special guest with us today, Jeff Spence. And Jeff, wave hi. So we are so grateful. He's kind of fit us in between his world tour, and he's getting ready to truly head and do a world tour kind of event, and has much background in both Unity and New Thought in many ways. And so we're grateful to have you with us, Jeff. Thanks for being here. And we acknowledge that in Unity, our basis is upon prayer. We stand upon the foundation of prayer consciousness. What is it to hold an affirmative prayer consciousness that holds truth and light for each and every one, regardless of the circumstances of our lives and those things happening in the world. And this ministry, along with the Unity itself, are founded upon prayer. And we're grateful for each and every one of our prayer chaplains and that they hold this space, they hold your prayer requests. And we invite you to put your prayer requests into our prayer box, and that will be in the back after the service. And those prayers are held in confidence for 30 days here with our prayer chaplains. And then they go to Silent Unity, where they're held 24/7 in prayer there at the Silent Unity Chapel. And so we thank you for that. And today, our prayer chaplain is Dawn Davis, and she'll be available in a prayer room following the service for any one-on-one prayer that anyone would like. We also have available Oneness Blessings in our Oneness Blessing room. So, and those are just a movement of you experiencing the divine intelligence, knowing exactly what it's doing as it is flowing in grace. And so we're grateful for all the ways that we each hold prayer. And let's take that into our heart and mind and being and hold prayer for one another, for all those traveling, all those in various places this day. So let's touch into that sacred knowing, where we know there is one presence and power, and we feel the power of that divine presence. We feel the power and the presence of this infinite Christ self, or divine light, oneness by any name or knowing, whether we call it Great Spirit or Krishna awareness or Buddha consciousness. We are grateful to feel and know your light, your presence, your power as it moves through us this day, bringing healing and reminding us that we are whole and filled with your life principle. We open ourselves to be a presence for your guidance and wisdom to move through us this day. We feel the blessings within this sanctuary, the high vibrations and the movement of spirit. We send forth a blessing into the world to all of those that are seeking to know the truth of their oneness with God. They release the idea, the illusion of separation, and feel alive in the spirit of truth and life and love and peace and harmony. We invite our mind to surrender to our heart this day. And we blossom the heart, feeling the flowering of that divine presence that is truly fragrant in its beauty and wonder. And we send a blessing to our children and our teens and our teachers and all those that serve this ministry in so many ways, the many, many activities. And we are grateful. We feel gratitude just pour through and wash through us as we open to the field of consciousness, the divine awareness that we are one with our own Christ Spirit, living and loving and expressing fully the purpose and destiny of our soul. And we say thank you. Thank you. Thank you, God. Thank you to all that is. Thank you to the divine within. And we are grateful, grateful, grateful. And so it is. Amen. And yes. And so we do have some wonderful things going on and to help further our spiritual growth and connection here in this community, as always. And we want to thank you for all the ways that you continue to participate, all of those that have already signed up for the Alzheimer's Walk or are contributing to that, all those that have been contributing to the pet supplies already. We even got a big box in from Chewy.com that we anonymously was ordered and arrived full of goodies. And we just love the way that this community shows up. So thank you for that and the way to serve. So we've got some fun things coming as well. This year we're going to offer a trunk or treat experience. How many of you have ever done a trunk or treat? Some of you have. Some of you were here last time when we did it a couple of years ago. And it's really great. It's for kids ages 2 to 10. It creates a safe environment where they come in and you decorate your trunk and offer goodies out of your trunk. And we had a lot of fun with this, a lot of great ideas available. So we hope you'll help decorate your trunks and come show up and celebrate the kids in our community and many others. We've got a lot of kids that are planning to be here, so you can sign up in the gathering room to participate and dress up with your trunk and have a good time on Trunk or Treat. The parking lot will open at 5 p.m. and our event is from 6 to 7. The kids will come and participate, so that'll be a lot of fun. Unity Houston women are going to be joining our ladies to do a special labyrinth walk and presentation on the history and the experience of the labyrinth. And we have a lunch together, and we are going to share some special music and opportunities to walk the labyrinth in a powerful way. So we're looking forward to you signing up in the gathering room. And then it'll be $22 per person to cover lunch and all the different activities of it. But we're very excited. Their women's group is really thrilled to come back and join us and experience the power of our labyrinth. So we hope you'll join us on that. Sarah Thompson and I will be leading that presentation that day. Joshua Inacio is coming back with us, and we all know and love Joshua. He's been here many times. If you don't know him, he is a powerful presence, and he brings with him the ability to bring sound and alchemy in the healing journey. And he'll do a special event on that Thursday, October 17th, and offer a special sound alchemy and your divine blueprint, kind of a healing journey. So we hope you'll sign up and come out for that. He also will offer individual sessions on Thursday and on Friday morning. So you can sign up in the gathering room for those. We invite you to join myself and Rector Reverend Mike Stone from the St. Thomas, he's both at St. Thomas Episcopal Church, on October 6th at 4 p.m. We'll be doing a special pet blessing. And we join with them in doing our pet drive and giving those things out to local shelters and those that are nonprofits in the area rescuing animals. And we're really excited to join them. And we know it's something really powerful and meaningful that happens when we bless our pets. And because we love those little fur creatures, they're our family members. And to bring them to have special blessings, I have blessed tarantulas. I have blessed, what are those big lizard things called? Iguanas. I have blessed many different animals along with the cuddly furry kind. So we honor birds. We've had all kinds of animals come out and for their blessings. And we look forward to sharing that event and blessing all of your animals. If your animal's not really friendly to bring it out into a crowd, you can bring a picture. And we will bless the picture of your animal as well. So we invite all the ways that you show up with that as well. And let's see, there's so many other things. Please look at your happenings page and onto our website and our Facebook page and events. So we look forward to having you involved in the ways that you make your connections to others. That's what's significant here, is getting connected to a community of like-minded, like-hearted people. We had a fabulous drumming circle this last week on the equinox, and it was really a powerful moment, and so glad to have all the ways that we celebrate. So let's share our vision, mission, and core values together. Our vision is a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of a shared spiritual awakening. Our mission is to inspire minds, awaken hearts, and empower lives through the teachings of Jesus Christ and other expressions of universal truth. In all that we are and all that we live, we value unconditional love, connection, authenticity, inclusivity, trust, and compassion. And we are claiming our particular path at this time with this tagline that we speak. So let's just hold that in the light as well. We are living relevant spirituality now. And so it is. And at this time, if you'll join us for more music, please stand and let's open ourselves in service to the infinite.
How can I serve today, sweet Spirit? How can I serve today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I may understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. How can I share today, sweet Spirit? How can I share today, oh Lord? Speak in ways
everyone here with us today, both through our media, our social media networking, and as well as here in the individual sanctuary. Your light, your presence, who you are, brings with it a gift to our universe and a gift to our sanctuary and our community. And so we want each one of you to acknowledge yourselves. Thank you for being here, for bringing who you are with you, because it touches our hearts and minds and beings by your presence. We are changed. They say in the native tradition, you cannot step in the same river twice, because every moment it's transformed, and we are transformed by who you are being with us. And I know we have some new guests with us today, and I'd love for you, if you're willing, to raise your hands, and our ushers will bring you a welcome card you can fill out and get signed up for our weekly e-newsletter that tells you all the happenings here. So we got a couple in the back row there and one in the back row over here, and we're so grateful to have you all, and our ushers are coming with those welcome cards. If you will, and, well, maybe they'll get those. I think, there we go. Cindy's got it. There's one here. There's two over here that are new. Another, I think two over here in the back row. Raise your guys' hands again.
I got it.
Oh, you got it already? Okay. You already got them. Okay, good. All right, well, we want you to feel extra welcome. And so let us share our welcoming blessing to our new guests, as well as to one another. And anybody back second or third time with us today? Miracle, I think you like own this place, I think, you know. You know, I don't know if y'all know that Mary, when I first arrived here, she had the kind of amazing spirit that she signed up to go to India with me immediately. I mean, I just gotten here, and she went to India with me, and we spent a time over there, and they were in love with her at the Oneness University. They're like, oh, this woman has amazing consciousness. So we're so grateful. So yeah, you can be here as long as you want, Mary. You can be new every day. So let's welcome one another here in the midst.
We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you.
Yes, we do. Just sigh that in for just a moment. And Ryan is going to come forward and share our daily word today. Ryan Ruffiner, our administrator.
Good morning, y'all.
Good morning.
You may find this reading and all other affirmations for the months of September and October in our bookstore, now available en Espanol. Our word today is potential. Our affirmation, through the divine in me, I discover and develop my spiritual potential. As I learn who I truly am, I embrace my Christ nature, the image of God that I am. I discover my true spiritual potential as I allow my divine faculties, such as imagination, faith, love, wisdom, understanding, strength, and more, to express through my thoughts, words, and actions. Any ideas of limitation dissolve as my imagination develops an inspiring, positive vision for my future. Faith provides a firm foundation for the attributes of love, wisdom, and understanding to bring vision into my life. The faculty of strength allows me to keep on keeping on through any challenge. These God attributes are mine to develop and use as my potential unfolds. And from the book of Romans, chapter 15, verse 13, may the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace in believing, so that you may abound in hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
In the silence, there is a sacred place, a secret meeting place. Love is there. In the silence, where every color blends and every rainbow ends, good is there. In the light, now you find that you Truth is here. God is here.
So let's take a moment and move into this time of meditation. Let's set aside the thoughts in our minds and the things upon our lives, and open our heart, mind, and being to the experience of this now moment, of truly closing our outer eyes and opening our inner awareness, to know that we are blessed, and we feel the power of these energies of the universe moving through us right here and now, and open up as if you are being showered with a shower of light right now. A shower of light coming down through the very top of your head, and as it does, it sparkles and it is iridescent, and it moves through and cleanses and purifies your being. And you feel that divine light, that infinite, brilliant light of oneness, the light of all, the light of truth, the light of unity, moving through and calming and revitalizing the brain so that it releases and allows yourself to be quiet right here and now. The quiet within begins to just melt away any resistance. And you feel this light moving through and shimmering behind your eyes and cleansing and purifying all that you see. All that you see within and all that you see without is purified by this divine light. And it moves down through your jaws, and you relax your jaw. All of your face relaxes. Your lips relax, and your tongue and the back of your tongue. And this divine light moves through and relaxes your neck. If you need to roll your shoulders or shrug them, to relax them fully. You are being realigned with the light of oneness, the light of truth. The light of this divine presence moves through and relaxes your muscles, or any place you're holding any tension or stress within your body temple, or within your mind or your heart. Any patterns that no longer serve you are being set free as this light moves through your entire torso. It moves down your arms and your elbows and wrists and hands, and you feel the movement of these energies as it releases out into the universe. So that you are a clear and transparent presence. This transparency allows the light of this infinite, loving essence to just shine through and as you. And as this light continues to move through your torso, it lights up every organ in your body, bringing harmony, remembrance of wholeness. The life principle is alive in you here and now. You feel alive with the light of God, the light of truth, the light of this loving essence. And it moves through and relaxes your hips, on down through your legs and your knees and ankles and feet, until it pours this divine white light out the bottoms of your souls, and you unify with this beautiful Mother Gaia, Mother Earth, who is here holding and nurturing and providing the sustenance of her presence. She is the presence of God in this physical form of a beloved earth, with every plant and every mineral and every creature of the land and creatures of the waters and creatures of the sky, in harmony and unified in this one presence that we experience. And as we go deeply into Mother Earth with gratitude in our hearts and awareness of the gift of all the ways that she serves us and serves the great I Am, we go deep into the heart and feel the heartbeat of the mother, the golden heartbeat, the golden light of that mothering, nurturing, loving energy is honey to us. It is the sweetness of life. It is the nourishment. And it pours forth that golden light upward to unify with the divine white light. And this golden light sparkles and oozes on up, bringing forth the sweetness. And we relax even more into knowing we are one with this unified field of light and love, of creativity. And we take this experience of this loving presence, of this purity that purifies our heart and our soul and our being and our body. Every part of us comes into union. Our emotional and mental bodies unify with this one presence, and we move into the silence where we remember who we are. As we know ourselves as one with all in grace and gratitude, we feel the power of this moving through and clearing away any residues of old belief systems about ourselves, about our ancestors, about life. And we feel our heart expand. And we feel gratitude for all that has gone before us. And we call forth this new era, this new time of ascension, of awakening, of awareness, of Christ consciousness alive and well here and now in ourselves, and all of the ways that universal truth is lighting up our world. We acknowledge every being on this planet as a presence for that divine essence. And we send blessings that they may remember and know and be guided by love to create a world that works for each and everyone. And we bring this awareness here back into our body temple, where we ground in this awareness that we are the living presence, the living expression of Christ consciousness, of divine awareness, by whatever name or knowing is ours. We say, Great Spirit, we feel and know you now. And we allow. And in this allowing, we bring our hearts and souls back to this moment where we join together in unison from the words given to us by our way shower and master teacher, Jesus, teaching us the way of the Christ by speaking these words of our Lord's Prayer together. Our Creator, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us all our debts as we have forgiven our debtors. And lead us not in temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. And yes. Here's Jeff.
Good morning. So I have to tell you that I got the Cliff's Notes for the lesson this morning, a couple days ago. First of all, it's nice to see all of you again. I was here a few months ago and earlier in the year, and it's good to see all of you again. So I got the Cliff's Notes for the lesson today, and the first thought that came to me was the thing that I'm most in charge of in my life is my will. I am in total control of my will, and I can't blame it on nobody else. And so when I align my will with the greater will, whatever you want to call it, whatever your terminology is, good things happen. And if I'm not ready exactly to go full in to everything, I can have willingness. And in another group I'm in, they say, if you don't have willingness, be willing to be willing. And so I found this song. It goes like this. Have you ever wondered why some men crawl and some men fly? It's a decision of the soul. All right. Life is always what you make it. You can live or you can fake it. It's a decision of the soul. Anytime you're rearranging, it's the soul that does the changing. You can use your inspiration to extend your limitations. It's a decision of the soul. All right. To extend your limitations. It's a decision of the soul. Some say an intent. It's a decision of the soul. Accepting the now. It's a decision of the soul.
Thank you, Jeff. Thanks. Wonderful decision of the soul to choose that song. And today we are talking about will, but we're talking about this from a perspective of understanding the mysteries of the Bible. You know, in Unity, we take the Bible to a deep level of comprehension that takes it beyond the literal translation and looks into the depth of what the soul journey is all about and how the Bible as a textbook. And we teach, there are other sacred texts that do the same thing. But in this case, in Unity, we look at the Bible representing the soul's journey from the basis of coming in and opening to the realization that we're here upon this planet And we've got the Old Testament truth that keeps us in the living in the law and playing out the capacities that we have in understanding universal law. And then moving into a time where we move to where, as Jesus spoke, was that he came to fulfill the law. That we start to recognize the Christ Spirit in us is here to fulfill the law. And the messages in the Bible, when we start to translate and understand this soul journey that is expressed in every single story of the Bible, it will begin to reveal different layers and levels of secrets of universal consciousness. So this is a book of universal consciousness, and what is our journey at a consciousness level, at a soul level. And certainly we can look at metaphors and we can look at, some of the basic things that are taught there, but we are taught to go beyond all of that. To take this in a depth of our being that begins to awaken something new in our understanding. Now, Charles Fillmore, our co-founder, in all his intensive work of going into deep meditation, years of spending time in meditation, he began to open up through dreams and through inspiration. And he wrote what we know as the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary. Really something that was brought through him. And he's looking at the metaphysics, that which is beyond the physical, in the Bible, and what the meaning and interpretation is of every single character, every single place within the Bible. When we start to understand from this perspective, we gain a new appreciation for what the Bible is teaching us. I don't know about you. When I was young, I grew up Lutheran, and I loved the Bible. And yet at the same time, sometimes along the way, I felt like it was used to punish me or keep me believing that I was less than whole or less than a divine presence or a Christ consciousness. And I certainly didn't understand things that were in the Bible. And they were frightening to me. And I imagine most of us had various experiences. And we may have learned various ways of interpretation, but for years I didn't really want to go that direction because it was challenging for me to look at that and know that it had been the way that I had interpreted it had me feeling less good about myself, rather than feeling more alive and aligned and understanding there was something magical and mysterious here that was moving me forward. So as we talk about this today, I want you to understand we are really looking at, I'm going to spend time on these pieces that are about a metaphysical understanding. But even to look at the Bible, we have to understand each of the perspectives. And I want to invite, first of all, to know that when you read the Bible, to do it in context. Many times people take a piece out, a statement out, or a story out, but may not have it in context with what's happening around it. So as we're looking at this, you need to understand what is it representing in the soul growth and where things are moving. And I felt it was appropriate at this time that we start with some of the things happening at the beginning of the New Testament. We are in new times, a new era in our own world, where the light that is infusing in is tremendous, and it's shifting everything. It's rattling up the old, and we're releasing the old way of viewing the world and the law of karma, of cause and effect. It doesn't mean we won't still have cause and effect, but we have the ability to, as Jesus demonstrated, to rise above and transcend that which we have defined ourselves by. So Matthew is a book that represents that because, first of all, it's the beginning of the New Testament. And where it starts with a whole genealogy, right? It begins with Jesus' genealogy. Now, what's interesting about that as we look at it is that the idea that this genealogy, they're talking about these people that were all kinds of different folks in the genealogy. So there's a lot of shady characters in the background, right? Shady ancestors. Anybody else have some of those in your life? And we love and we're grateful. Thank you, ancestors. We are grateful for all that you brought. But part of what's happening is this is an opportunity for us to understand that it doesn't matter where you've come from. It doesn't matter what you've done or what others have done. That everyone has the opportunity to move into the place of grace, to move into the We're talking this day in the Daily Word and also in what Jeff said about the faculties. In unity, they are spiritualized. When they are brought into a spiritual awareness, then they are what guide us, bring us, all 12 of those will bring us to our full Christ consciousness. So understanding each of those faculties. Well, Matthew represents the faculty of will. Of what is it that we as individuals come in and we learn to develop our will. It's one of the things we're taught as children, how to develop our own will and have strength in that. And so we need to understand that then, by Jesus, to become willing. Now, Matthew, as you may remember, was a tax collector. All right, he was focused on the world. So that based on commission and how many taxes they collected, that's how they made their income. So as a result, he was very focused on the monetary, on the worldly substance, right? And so what occurred in this journey for him, able to surrender that will that was directed in the outer world, to direct it to the internal awareness, that there is a greater opportunity and experience that which is calling us in our spiritual path. For each one of us to fully surrender ourselves into the awakening, into the awareness that we are a Christ being, and that we have, that's a part of what we're looking at. So when we turn our will wholly into that which is serving a higher consciousness, that which is opening our hearts in love, then all of a sudden we begin to have a different experience in life. So in this journey, this is first of all to where we're going to go. As we move into this, we get to look at what was before the place we're going today. Because we're going to study a particular story in Matthew. There was the, went through the birth and the life of Jesus, the Sermon on the Mount. This is some key stuff all in that beginning of Matthew, right? This is a pretty intense journey that they're going on. Opening to the golden rule and living from the golden rule. So all of this is in the previous chapters of Matthew. So as we're learning to open ourselves, to give our will over, to open to the idea that we can then surrender fully to something greater in ourselves than what we have seen with our eyes, or believed from our ears, or created by looking at our life and those that have been in it. When we start to open to that spiritual awareness, that's the place where Matthew is. So when Jesus had gone through all these different experiences, and he was developing his ministry. See, for us, we're developing our own purpose. Our depths show up in the world. And so as we go through our lives, we're learning those things that would really support us in living from a higher calling, from a higher place and purpose on this planet. And so that's what was happening for him as well. In that journey, then, we have an opportunity. Did all kinds of teachings, first of all. So we open ourselves to the teachings, and many of us start at the level of the mind. We start with experiencing the emotions that are there. We start by clearing away the old debris of who we've thought ourselves to be. And then we open to a possibility of our being something more. Unity is a surrender because we can't get there through the intellect. So as we're going through this process of coming to this place where the Christ consciousness works with us, we may first have to work with our to the place where Spirit is in charge and moving through us. to bring this into place. So in that time, and Jesus would constantly, he'd go off into the hills and do his deep meditation time. And we're taught by all the things that transpired up to today's story. All right? And as we look at this, we recognize that as you go to the chapter just before where we're going, chapter 8, then all of a sudden, Jesus begins to expand his ministry from a and the principles upon which we stand, the way the universal consciousness works, the way light and awareness works within us. And then from there, Jesus surrendered to a new level of bringing forth that healing into the world. Have any of you been at a decision point or a crossroads in your own life where you've struggled to know, can I really do what I feel I'm being called to? Right? Do I continue the path as I've known it, or do I really open to that which is calling me from a deep soul level? And that's the journey that we are talking about, that your Christ consciousness will take you to a place that is sometimes scary, sometimes feels as if it's risky. You know, he returned to his hometown. He returned to his hometown to begin his healing ministry. Because we have to return to a place in ourselves, first and foremost. A place inside of us that's at home, that bringing our full consciousness of the Christ, of the awareness that we've been given, the gifts that we have, to claim them fully. And first we're a bit hesitant, right? And yet, what happened for him, the Spirit of God was so alive in him that he had to bring that healing energy out and transform the world around him. What I want you to know, this is not just the story about Jesus. Who are you here to be? How are you to show up in the world? How are you to integrate with your own authenticity, with the power of the divine light and presence that is alive within you? We deny our own ability to access that presence, for it to move us in ways that would significantly change our lives and the lives of others. And we're meant to no longer, there's a point where we're called to rise above held from what our parents told us, from what we have told ourselves. We are here to be a healing presence, a light of truth. And as he went forward and did that, then it ushers us into this place where he began representative of the old religious beliefs that we carry in our mind. Like if we're upsetting that part of us that was taught to be a particular way or to think a particular way, we're upsetting our own Pharisees and scribes. And sometimes they don't like it very well. So they start throwing out all kinds of questions. Yeah, have you got that part of your mind going on, your own Pharisees and scribes, that starts questioning, what do you think you're doing? You know, that's not the way we've always done it, all right? That's the kind of thing that's going on in here. But what happens to this is that then he starts his healing journey. And he heals a leper. Then he heals a centurion's servant, right? So this is huge. These are the untouchables, those that you're not supposed to fraternize with, right? You're not supposed to touch a leper, right? And yet these are those that he is healing at this time. And he goes on and he goes to Peter's house, all right? And at Peter's house, so here he goes to the place where, and then from there we move into this. We go to chapter 9. He casts out demons. All right? He casts out demons as well. So what are those demon beliefs or thoughts out on the water? He goes into that place and he calms the emotional storm. Right? The water represents emotions. So a couple of things to know in biblical understanding. Every character is going to represent an aspect of us. So we are these characters in the Bible. Every male character represents our thinking nature. Every female character represents our feeling nature. And we're learning to unify and harmonize those and integrate within our own being. So the story I'm focusing on, and I'm getting finally to it, today, after the call, and after the questioning, and all of that, is that Jesus is called to, first of all, restore someone to life. Some say she touched the hem of his garment. Others say she just reached for the hem of his garment. I actually like that. That we, in our reaching for our true spiritual nature, in our reaching for the Christ consciousness, in our reaching for something greater in our understanding, receive the blessing in that moment. Now, here's the thing to understand about this woman. So Jesus, there's no background, no power of the divine to bring us back into the remembrance of our wholeness, to the truth of our being valued and worthy and alive in the Christ Spirit, right? We're all meant to have that experience. And so in the journey of this, so here's this 12 years. What does that? So here she is. So we get to take a look at and say, how have we called aspects of ourselves? Self, this is our feelings all over situations and not been alignment to a higher truth. See, as we look at what the feminine represents, that's our emotional body. Anybody spend any time hemorrhaging out some feelings that might be my emotions and learning through my life not to let my emotions carry away my thoughts? Or not to let my feelings carry me away into actions that didn't really serve the highest truth. Or to damage myself by how I was perceiving myself as unworthy or unable to reach or achieve that which would be my highest spirit. See, all of that was a representation of this. So Jesus, our way shower, the Christ Spirit in us, that he represents, has no qualms about clearing all of that baggage, all of that, to say we no longer have to operate from those old emotions that have kept us held down. She didn't feel she could get healing anywhere for 12 years of this. And 12 represents a number of spiritual completion. 7 is completion here in this realm, and 12 is completion spiritually. Unfortunately, it takes what it takes, right, to get to our healing, right? It takes what it takes. But our willingness to do the spiritual work, to get to our own healing, is a part of why we are choosing the will. See, now, Matthew represents the will. So this whole book of the Bible is about how do we use our will to turn it to the Christ and follow. So here we are learning every story represents that she had to learn that when she was done spilling out all her emotional stuff all over the place, on her thoughts and her feelings, that there's a point where she realized there was a way to receive the gift of that grace, the gift of that light, but she had to reach for it. Have you felt that sometimes you weren't sure where to go and you have to turn to that infinite spirit, to that Christ spirit, to that divine light and say, I don't have the ability to do this, but something in me knows that there's a greater awareness inside of me that can bring it forth. So when I am willing to surrender to that Christ, surrender and reach out for it, all I have to do is reach. I reach close to that. See, we are energetic beings. Christ knew his energy system. He knew he was a presence for the divine. He knew when someone was reaching for that assistance. See, the Christ in us knows what our needs are before we even process, for it to come to us fully, because he recognized, he says, in here it says, then suddenly a woman who had been suffering from hemorrhages for 12 years came up behind him. We don't even have to be front and center. Hey, pay attention to me. We coming from behind and touched the fringe of his cloak. For she said to herself, if I only touch his cloak, I will be made well. And Jesus turned, and seeing her, he said, take heart, daughter. Your faith has made you well. And instantly the woman was made well. See, our faith has available to us, that we have within us the potential for that. And our faith in that is what makes us well. See, that's another part of the story, because our will determines our faith. We have our faith, but our will decides, do we turn to our faith or do we reject it and continue to play out the patterns of our past? It is really a powerful experience to recognize that I live a choice, that I am empowered by the divine within me, by the Christ Spirit, that I don't even have to go front and center with it. I don't have to do all the things that, I just have to know I'm willing and I'm ready to change what has been and open to that divine Spirit within. And when you choose that, by whatever name or knowing you call this Spirit, whether you call it Christ consciousness, divine oneness, loving presence, great mystery, light, it is available because it's going to respond according to your needs, what your needs are. So you can call it by anything, just call it, right? Just open to the awareness that it is alive in you and ready to bring you back to your wholeness and your divine light and your awareness. And in the moment of your truly surrendering and believing in that, amazing transformation happens. And that's what happened in this situation. And I know that it's happened in many of your lives. And I invite you to remember those mysteries, to live those, because we're here to live this relevant spirituality now. We're here to reveal the mysteries that are given in the Bible, that are given in sacred texts of all types, to given in our own heart and soul, and to live those out with the glory that is meant to be ours when we rise into that amazing experience of our wholeness and our light. I am grateful to be here amongst you and to share this great message of the mysteries of the Bible. God bless you. Out into the world in all the ways that we do it. Those of you that serve and those of you that give, those online, you can go to our website and donate there. And we are grateful for every giver and every gift. And we continue to, you'll hear more soon about our Burn the Mortgage campaign, our Above and Beyond. And we're looking forward to being able to continue to pay down that mortgage and set ourselves free here. So we're continuing that as well. At this time, let's take our gifts into our heart and into our hands, and let's just share together our offering blessing. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And we say thank you, God. And so it is. Our ushers, come on forward.
Part with me. What do you think?
Sure.
The words are easy. It goes like this. Ha 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 ha. Sing it. Ha 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 ha. Well. Ha ha. All right. Listen. Holy Mother from India, helping the sick and the poor. Somebody asked, why do you do these things? She said, this is what I came here for. Listen, do all you can with what you have, the time you have and the place you are. Do all you can. Your turn. Do here. Do all you can. All right. This is the light they gave to us. Wherever we go, be the change that can see in the world. Understand what they want us to know. Listen, do all you can with what you have, and the time you have, and the place you are. Do all you can. Aha, here we go. you can with what you have, in the time you have, in the place you are. Do all you can with what you have, in the time you have, in the place you are. Do all you can. Do what you can today.
Thank you all. Choir, background group. So we're going to get our prayer requests. Dawn, will you do those? And we're going to bring our offerings up and share our blessings together on these. Perfect. Come on up here, Maria. All right. You're surrounded by angels.
I know.
Yeah. All right, let us share our blessing together. Thank you, God, for our spiritual community. We rejoice as all our prayers are answered. We celebrate divine abundance as we give and receive in generosity and love. Unity Bay Area Houston is grateful for all our blessings, and we are prosperous. Yes, we are. Thank you, God. All right. Well, let's see. Are our kids coming in today? They're out there looking. Well, let me just tell you, next week we're going to continue part 2 with our Bible mysteries. And we also are going to be sharing a Sunday celebration of all of our 12 new members. So it's going to be a fabulous Sunday. Hope you'll come and join and welcome folks into the fold. We're very excited about that. We've had a couple of amazing new member classes where we get to hear one another's story and get to know each other. And we are also looking very soon at having a junior membership class because we've had requests from the kids that they want to become members as well. Isn't that great? Yeah. The girls all the kids that came back from the rally last week have had a fabulous experience and life transformative time. So we're grateful for the Unity rally that was up in Houston last week. And I think maybe our kids are coming. No, it's just Michael with Kate. Yeah. So he's doing a preview of the food that's available out there. So we do have enchiladas and rice and beans and chocolate tres leche and birthday cake. See, and isn't that good to know? Yeah. And here we come. Come on in, everybody. Come on up. They're coming slowly but surely. They're getting here. All right, we're grateful to have everybody, and yeah, come on in. Thank you. Good to see you. How are you today?
I'm good.
You're good? Did you have a good time this morning? Yeah, good. Well, we're glad you're here. Look at those shoes sparkle. Those are awesome. You know me, I like sparkle. Yeah, that's awesome. All right. Baby? Okay. Here we come. We just have the littles with us today. Okay, so the teens are still doing what they're doing out in the back, so we'll just have the littles with us today. Hi, everybody. Hi. Welcome. All right.
I can't find my mom.
You can't find your mom? I'll bet she's around here. There's Mom. Wave right there. There she is. All right, good job. All right, did you guys have an affirmation for us today?
Yes.
Yes? Are you ready? Okay.
A spiritual imagination.
Oh, confirm that back with them. Spiritual imagination. That's beautiful. Thank you. So let's send our blessing to these kids and the many others, all the places that they are today. Unity Youth, we love you just the way you are in all your magnificence and spiritual imagination. All right, let's join together for our peace song and prayer for protection.
Yes, there is peace on earth and unity with God as creator. And the moment now, with every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well.
Please allow our kids back to their classroom first.